We read from Judges chapter 2, verse 19. The Bible talks about when a judge died. But whenever the judge died, they turned back and behaved worse than their fathers. Now, we have compared the era of judges and the era of the kings, and we have emphasized that it was not in God's plan to give Israel a king. We studied around it recently in Deuteronomy chapter 17 thereabouts, where the Bible talks about when you consider you will need a king. So it was what God just felt they would consider. You will need a king like other nations, not as if it was his plan. So then we emphasize that God was the one who chose judges for them. So it would have been better for them to remain with this government of judges, the one God chose for them. I hope we are not thinking that it would have been better that they continue with that kind of a system of judges. We only compared the era of judges and the era of kings, and we said it was better that they remain and continued in that era of judges than that of king. I hope you are not fixing yourself in the place of a judge, considering that, yes, I'm not operating my own ministry like a king. I'm operating like a judge of old. That would still be wrong. And it's very important to pay attention to this. All of this that the Lord took Israel through, that we are reading about now, they are to make us see what we have now and how better it is than whatever they had then. So when they had judges then, it never meant that it will have been better we continue in that till today. But unconsciously we are falling into that. And I put something down here. Every ministry, every denomination that centers around any human judge, the same thing will happen. In Corinth and some other churches where Paul ministered, he noticed, I am of Paul, I'm of Apollos, and he addressed it. It's like the people did not really get it. They continue in that, I'm of Paul, I'm of Apollo, and the likes. It is exactly what accounts or accounted for what we now have in Europe today. In Nigeria today, it does not appear serious, but we still find I'm of Paul, I'm of Apollo. Now, what do we still find? We find ministry built around a human being, a human judge per se. We can know what will happen. For now, it will be difficult to believe, especially because everything appears glorious and moving, the kingdom appears expanding. The same way it happened to judges of then is what will happen to every gathering that is built around an individual. And what the Lord is making us to see here is that whenever the judge died, just as every judge will die one day, whenever the judge died, no exception, what will happen? They turned back and behaved worse than their father. So it's a very costly thing to build anything around an individual. We might not know the effort we are doing to ourselves. We might not know the effort that will be wrecked in the coming generation. But just bear in mind, whenever the judge, and you observe that people are beginning to be worried, especially now that we have judges that are, I'm sorry to use that judge, I'm not using it to indict anybody, please. But we have leaders, yes, our daddies. We thank God for their life. Now that we have some of them advanced in age, before they die, do you know there are worries already? And sincerely, it is part of the course of building an assembly around an individual. John said, I must diminish while he increase. If Jesus is not promoted and it is an individual that is promoted, whenever the judge dies, the same thing that happened to the Israelites will happen. And that is why what Abraham is teaching us now is how that I myself will not build my life around a human judge who will die one day. And the Lord will help us in Jesus' name.
Thank you for listening to this message. Follow us for more scriptural messages as this. You can follow us on all our social media handles on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can call us on the number showing on your screen for more information. Thank you, and God bless you.